Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Layyinatussania Itaqitafuzhi and my study ID is 23010664 from class being 035. I would also like to mention that this presentation is conducted under the guidance of my lecturer, Elly Kholidah SSMA. So today I would like to present a journal titled Perception and Sign of Stress Among Indonesian University Students, Insight from Rileks Module Responses. The author is Dilva Junior, Novika Graciaswati, and Melok Lorokenanti from the Faculty of Psychology, Yarsi University. And the article published in 2025 in Indigenous Journal Ilmiah Psikologis. Okay, so basically this study explore how students in Indonesia understand stress and how they recognize it in their daily lives. And now, even though stress has been widely studied, most of the research still focuses on Western population and mainly use quantitative data. So, because of that, there is still a gap understanding student personal experience, especially in the Indonesia context. And this really matters because stress can affect both academic performance and mental health. Also, sociocultural factors like family expectation can play a big role in how students experience stress. The study focuses on two main research questions. The first is how do students define stress, and the second is how do they identify the signs of stress in their daily lives. Okay, now let's talk about the method. The first is research design. This study uses a qualitative with an interactive thematic content analysis approach, but simply put, they collected answers from open-ended questions through a web program called Rileks. For the sample, there were 68 participants aged between 19 to 42 years old, and most of them were female actually. And they used purposive sampling, which means they selected students based on certain criteria like having a minimum stress score based on DAS 42. The next is result. In the section, there are two main tables that summarize findings of the study. First, in table 1, the study explains how students define stress. There are three main themes here. The first one is stress as pressure or tension, which means students feel stressed when they have too many demands, like academic, social, or personal responsibilities. The second theme is stress as situation that exceed coping capacity. So basically, students feel stressed when they think they cannot handle the situation anymore. And the third one is stress as a state of description, which means stress affect different areas of their life, including emotional, cognitive, and social functioning. Overall, these findings show that stress is mostly seen in a negative way, and students tend to have similar perspective about it. Now moving to table 2, this table focuses on the sign of stress. There are four main categories. First, physical signs, for example, trembling, rapid breathing, or other body reaction. Second, cognitive signs, such as difficulty concentrating and forgetting things. Third, emotional signs like feeling anxious, angry, and overwhelmed. And the last one is behavioral signs, for example, avoiding people or not waiting to interact with others. So, stress is not just one simple thing, it's actually complex and multidimensional. And interestingly, many students give similar answer, which means their perception of stress are quite consistent. So overall, this part of the study shows that stress affects students in many different ways, both mentally and physically. In the discussion part, the study explained that stress is not only universal, but also influenced by cultural context. For example, in Indonesia, family expectation can really affect how students feel stressed. So, even if people have similar symptoms, the meaning of stress can be different depending on their background and situation. In conclusion, stress among Indonesian students is mostly seen as pressure and imbalance that affect many areas of life. And overall, is it viewed as something negative and overwhelming? For future research, the study suggests including more diverse participants, using mixed method, and exploring stress in a deeper way, especially with a process that consider cultural factor. Personally, I think this article is really interesting because it shows real student experience, not just number. It also feels very relatable, especially as a student. And for me, it helps me understand stress not only from a psychological side, but also from a cultural perspective. This brings me to the end of my presentation. I apologize for any mistake. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching and for your attention.